Demetris Taxitaris, CEO of S.Platis. Thanks for dropping in today. How are you enjoying the expo so far?
Yeah, pleasure to be here. I was really amazed this morning and throughout the day because I saw so many people. It's beyond expectations in my mind, and I was really looking forward to it, but didn't expect what I saw here. So it's a real pleasure, and I'm sure others will love it as well.
Great. Next month is a crucial date for Europe. The MiCA regulation is coming into force. How do you think it will shape the crypto industry?
MiCA is a revolution globally, I should say. The crypto industry is really interesting. We've seen a lot of ups and downs with it. We've seen a lot of ups and downs with the prices of crypto assets, Bitcoin in particular, but others as well. But in the last year or so, we've seen an interesting comeback of the industry and of the prices as well, alongside it. We've seen a lot going on in the US, where the SEC took action against a number of firms, against the biggest ones, I should say.
Yeah.
Primarily in relation to AML violations, and as well as bad selling practices. They took action. It seems that they feel they have cleaned up the whole industry. Subsequently, they gave also various licenses for ETFs. We've seen big houses introducing ETFs. We've seen BlackRock ETF growing, being the fastest growing ETF since ever. And we've seen, alongside that, we've seen the price of Bitcoin making a comeback alongside other currencies, cryptocurrencies. And then this year, we're seeing MiCA being introduced in Europe. It's today probably the most important legislation and regulatory framework being introduced at a major jurisdiction, which will have an impact and which will kind of legitimize even further the industry. We're looking forward to it. We believe that regulation will make the industry more robust, more interesting, and we're looking forward to supporting our clients as we are seeing much interest and growing interest as time goes by, both in setting up crypto asset service provider firms, so crypto exchanges effectively, but also MiFID firms by cryptocurrency firms to trade, to provide clients with the ability to trade in their futures business, which seems to be quite big as we think.
And how is the market preparing for MiCA? What are the biggest changes doing right now?
This is an excellent question. I think the market is really gearing up, and the biggest change is the transition of crypto exchanges from being entirely unregulated to being entirely regulated, I should say. It's a challenge, and it's actually a challenging process, and it's a long process, and it represents many challenges along the way. So from an environment where nobody asked the compliance officer for any actions taken, and there was very little in terms of compliance. At some point, even in relation to AML, there was very little. Then suddenly, all crypto exchanges need to comply in relation to AML regulations, but then subsequently in relation to MiCA regulations. And there is also a power play, a power thing there within big crypto exchanges, whereby the business side, which for a number of years operated entirely independently, needs to understand how to work in parallel with a proper and fully fledged compliance function. And obviously, as compliance consultants, we are here to assist with all these challenges and to provide assistance to crypto exchanges to cope and set up properly, introduce the proper policies, introduce proper procedures, manuals, and so on.
Interesting. Moving on to your company, you've recently launched a virtual compliance application?
A virtual compliance assistant, or VICA actually.
From MiCA to VICA.
Is her name. Another really exciting and revolutionary concept, I should say. VICA has been rolled out only last week, by our team in the UK, covering UK law and EU law progressively, and we shall be rolling it out to cover other jurisdictions and regulatory frameworks as well. Effectively, VICA works by supplementing and complementing the work of a compliance officer. It can reply to questions. It's 24/7. It's using AI, artificial intelligence, and it can be what it says effectively, your compliance assistant going forward, and it's a valuable tool which every regulated firm must have.
And what does that allow the customer to do?
Well, effectively, it's a reliable and credible source of information. It can do a lot. I wouldn't say at this point in time it can replace the compliance function or the compliance officer per se, but it can assist the compliance officer and the compliance function cope with everyday challenges. It can help it effectively produce information, answer to questions, take action which might be needed and can be trained to do so. And as time goes by, it can even improve more and more. And who knows, at some point, the compliance function will be VICA itself.
Yeah. Thanks. Very interesting interview. Thanks for dropping by.
Thank you so much.